Today, I am announcing the charges against David Anthony Burke.
Breaking news, we now know the cause of death for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. As a reminder, David, the singer suspected of killing her, has now been taken into custody.
She, for months, was stuffed in that Tesla and just left there.
We believe the actual evidence will show David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
I'm pretty sure by now it is no longer news. Everyone has actually heard this story from David and him being charged. Well, there is a lot of stories flying up and down, and we are actually going to cover it here. This has a lot of clips which a lot of people might have actually missed, because many people are actually getting this story from just one side, where I am getting the story from every side, and I actually just want you guys to use that information to make up your own decision, because I'm not here to give you just one perspective. The reason why this case is so sensitive is because of this lady right here is so young. Authorities are saying she's just 14 years old. Begs the question, what is a 14-year-old doing running away multiple times? Doesn't it sound like we actually have a parenting problem here? But yeah, check this out, guys.
Breaking news, we now know the cause of death for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. As a reminder, David, the singer suspected of killing her, has now been taken into custody, held without bond, and has been charged with first-degree murder with special circumstances. According to newly filed documents, prosecutors say Celeste was killed with a sharp instrument, and her death has officially been ruled as a homicide. They allege the incident happened on April 23rd, 2025, and her body was later mutilated on May 5th. Authorities say Celeste went to Burke's Hollywood Hills home in April 2025 and was never heard from again. Months later, her remains were found inside his Tesla, placed in 2 bags. Because of the condition they were in, it initially made it difficult for investigators to determine exactly what happened. Prosecutors also claim Burke had an ongoing relationship with Celeste when she was under 14, with alleged activity taking place between September 2023 and September 2024. He is now facing multiple charges, including first-degree murder with special circumstances, mutilation of a body, and lewd acts involving a minor under 14. Those special circumstances include allegations of lying in wait, financial gain, and killing a potential witness. Lord, prosecutors suggest Celeste may have threatened to go to police and that Burke allegedly invited her over with intent to harm her. He was arrested by LAPD in what's being described as a major operation and is now facing the possibility of the death penalty if convicted. For their part, Burke's attorneys say he was not the cause of her death, but child, do we really believe that? Because I don't.
Today, I am announcing the charges against David Anthony Burke, the musician known as David, spelled D4VD, in connection with the brutal and horrific murder of Celeste, a 14-year-old at that time. And there are 3 sets of charges that have been brought. The first-degree murder with special circumstances, and again, those special circumstances are lying in wait. That Celeste went to Mr. Burke's home on the night of April 23rd, 2025, as alleged in the complaint, at his invitation, and again, was not heard from again. The second is a special circumstance being that this murder was committed for financial gain. As the evidence will show in court, the financial gain was for Mr. Burke to maintain his very lucrative musical career that Celeste was threatening on that particular night. The third charge, in addition to lying in wait and for financial gain, is murdering a witness to an investigation. In this particular case, as the evidence will come out in court, the witness to the investigation was Celeste, and the investigation was into the lewd and lascivious sexual acts committed by Mr. Burke that is the subject of count 2 of this complaint with Celeste while she was under 14 years old. The investigation was to determine who killed, who murdered Celeste months and months before. That investigation was carried out in unison and in partnership between the LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division and the District Attorney's Office. At every point in the investigation, through the arrest and the filing of charges, The LAPD and the District Attorney's Office have worked in lockstep. There's been no disagreements amongst these entities in deciding how to proceed with this case, ultimately leading to these charges today.
She, for months, was stuffed in that Tesla and just left there.
We've been investigating the mysterious death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. She was a runaway, reported missing multiple times. And then her body was found decomposing in music star David's Tesla in September. We dug through social media, geolocated photos, and spoke with more than a dozen people. So here's what we got. We can link Celeste and David on a long timeline, both before and while she was missing. Check out this Discord message from 2022 when Celeste was just 12 years old. From David, Celeste in here? Then from the screen name Celeste, hi David, bark. This is David's Twitch stream from January 2024, about a month before Celeste is first reported missing. She's 13 years old here, and it's after 3 a.m. And we also obtained this email sent soon after Celeste was first reported missing. It's sent from a person close to Celeste to David at mogul.vision. Mogul Vision is David's management company. There's been talk that the artist David possibly has something to do with the disappearance of 13-year-old Celeste Rivas. If that statement holds any merit, please do the right thing and take her home. We talked to the person who wrote that email and they asked we not identify them due to safety concerns. David's record company did not respond to our request for comment. Fast forward a few months, David's performing. Let's zoom in on this picture. That's Celeste backstage. Music critic Anthony Fantano says, all you social media sleuths have been on this case early, connecting the dots from different corners of the internet, pouncing on messages like this one. When David said he had writer's block for a new song, one fan replied, drop the one with the missing girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
It's just crazy the context and information that people within this community seem to have. Not only her full, entire government name, but the fact that she's missing too.
Celeste also shows up in these photos that private investigator Steve Fisher recovered from the rental where David lived.
I just don't know how anybody, even if you weren't involved, if you had any knowledge that she was in that car, how you could live with yourself and not report it.
So what do the police know? They haven't publicly said much about this case at all, but we can tell you that a grand jury investigation is ongoing, and in court documents, David has been named by prosecutors as a target. David's lawyer did not speak with us, citing the grand jury investigation. And I'm just scratching the surface.
We believe the actual evidence will show David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, nor was he the cause of her death. And we would like to be able to have the evidence come into the light of day at the earliest opportunity in order to establish that. So we would again reiterate, we believe that Mr. Burke is entitled to discovery. We have served the people with notice. They have 15 days to produce discovery in this case. We would ask that they do that in conscientious earnestness.
While the charges brought against him seem serious, a lot of people might actually having some second thoughts about it due to what actually happened with Young Thug case. I don't know if you guys remember the Young Thug case. It dragged on for so long. We also have the Legal Dog case following the same route. People actually believe that they might actually come out on bail. Who knows? You know, at the end, we just hope justice is served for everybody.
What do you think about white men?
I think it's just the term white man, just immediate turn off.
Apparently, I shot some lady in the face. And of course, you think you care about that. But before you get all worked up like they want you to, let me remind you that a few months ago, you also thought you had big feelings about that Ukrainian girl who got stabbed on the bus. And now, you don't even know what's going on with her case. You forgot about that, and you'll forget about this. You forgot about Sudan, and you'll forget about Venezuela. You could pick any headline, and this will apply. The topics change, but the trend is the same. Information, outrage, debate, disengage, repeat. You are trapped in an endless cycle of tragedy tourism where you keep falling for what you think you are standing for. You're programmed, not principled. And that's precisely why you can't recognize the plot. It doesn't matter what really happened or which side's perspective is correct. The narrators of the narratives aren't concerned with wrong or right. They just want you to fight. You're a pawn in their game of distract, divide, and conquer. And every move you make ensures that you lose and they win. That's the consequences of choosing to play by their rules.